Welcome to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook, did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and formerly known as Twitter. Hey everyone, I am so happy and grateful that you guys are coming in. Mr. Scribe, you should already know. Guess who's already in the house?
Our diamond Mary Goolsby, who's always on point.
Our diamond in the house is Mary Goolsby. Thank you for joining in. And for all of you who are tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere around the social media globe, please hit that share button. Please hit that share button because Mr. Scribe, you know what's happening on today, right? This is the first day of our March Money Madness.
Mm.
And we got somebody in the studio, my brother. This this sister of mine came by way of Dr. Kari, by the way.
Oh, okay. So that means you didn't know her for 30 years.
See, I knew you were gonna say that. See, I knew you were gonna say that. No, it wasn't 30 years, but you know when spirits meet spirits and they lock in together, it feels like I've known Darlene for like
Wow.
20 to 25 years. That's what it feels like.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
All
gonna
right.
count that one. Okay. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. Another one.
Well, you know what? Without further ado, Level Up Nation, we have in the studio Miss Darlene Van Beek. Welcome to the show.
I
Welcome.
am delighted to be here. Thank you, Angie, Mr. Scribe. And I
Yeah.
want to echo your sentiment about that bond that even though we haven't known each other that long, I do feel that same bond that, hey, sisterhood there. That's awesome.
we have
Yeah,
to help. We have to help our brothers. It's a sisterhood kind of thing.
Yeah, I
right.
already know the sisters have taken over. But I'm
Oh,
good with that. I'm good with that because we're still connected and I have no problem giving the sister their problem. Angel, I don't know what happened to my title and my name. It's just a blank. I don't know what happened.
I don't know, sir. I still see it. I see Mr.
Oh,
Scribe,
you do? Okay, I don't see it,
and I
but as
see
long as they know,
register.
as long as they
Wait,
know, as long as they know.
let's save some more because I think even Darlene will give you a hand clap on this one. I see that little circle, little R right behind your name, Mr. Scribe. What happened?
I am trademarked Mr. Scribe and registered as Mr. Scribe. So I can create Merc and all of those different type of things. And Angie, looking forward to possibly in the month of April, my new book will be released.
Ooh, well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me help you to understand why we have Miss Darlene Van Beek here because, as you guys can see, Level Up Nation growing and growing. Look, even Mary Goolsby said, good job, Mr. Scribe.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this will probably, I know I say it on every show, but this is one show that I know that many of you will want to join in and ask a lot of questions. Darlene is coming in with some information, but more than that, you guys know how in level up fashion, we're going to give you an opportunity to get to know Miss Darlene. But there's a reason why our diamond, like, okay, Darlene's on, whoop, I'm front and center. Because listen, I've heard even from Mary that Darlene don't play.
Oh, okay. Is she from New York? Because New Yorkers don't play either.
Well, Chicago. Let's go with Chicago.
Oh, Sergeant. I like that. I like that. So we're up north. Okay. I can vibe with that.
But listen, Darlene, everybody know I love me some Chicago people. So I knew, okay, there it is right there. Mary, there it is. I love me some Chicago people. Now, New Yorkers, y'all, I'm working on y'all.
New Yorkers in Chicago like brother and sister.
Y'all
New
are.
York, same vibe, same type of action,
Yeah.
same type of mental attitude.
Y'all don't play. Y'all don't
people,
play.
No, we tell it we straight shooters. We
Straight
gonna tell you
shooters.
like it is. Now the thing is, a little bit of time we have to check ourselves because we can be a little bit brutal at times. But we always gonna tell the truth though. We gonna tell the truth.
Y'all do. And listen, that's why I love Chicago people, New York people. Some people in LA can be that way. But yeah, you guys are straight shooters, and everybody know I love me some straight shooters. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, Darlene will not waste your time when we're talking about March Mad Money. How to say it? I'm sorry, March Mad Money Madness. Here she is. She is the first one of our March Money Madness month, so that she can set the tone of how the rest of this month is going to go. I'm telling you, if you guys need help, here it is right here. But before we go to our first break, Mr. Scribe, as always, is going to set the tone. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
Was going to do something on money, but I think this one is apropos for this show, and it's Matthew, the 6th chapter and the 33rd verse, and it reads, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you."
Let me say something about that, Darlene. He always comes in with the right scripture to help us to set the tone. Thank you, Mr. Scribe. Now, I wouldn't even think about that one, Mr. Scribe. So, okay, wow. The Holy Spirit.
We're talking about finances and money, but we have to understand, if you put God first, those decisions, choices, and blessings will follow. Not money first, God first.
God first. And let me correct some people when they always say money is the root of all evil. Can you guys please, here's the correct way of saying that scripture. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money itself. Money really is a tool in order for us to do what we need to do, especially for furthering the kingdom. So money is a necessity. So please stop saying money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. Hey, look who's already here.
Pat Nash.
Pat Nash. What's up, Pat Nash? Thank you for joining us. Now, Pat Nash, I already know what you're doing now. So if you need to head on over to CHH Jams, chhjams.com, ladies and gentlemen, that's where you guys can listen to this show in its entirety. Please do not, Mr. Scribe, I promise you, there'll be people watching our show and driving.
Ain't no better than that.
Please don't do that. You guys, head on over to chhjams.com. And if you guys are on here, what will be very advantageous to all of our watchers who want to go over to listen to the show, please go ahead and put in that link. So all they have to do is select the link and head on over to chhjams.com to listen to this show in its entirety. All right, you guys, we have to go to our first break. And when we come back, we'll be having some very, straightforward conversation with Darlene about money. Listen, you guys, we're calling it Financial Fire Drill with Darlene Van Beek. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Anybody that's out there wondering, if you hadn't heard, God's love is truly undeniable. You need to try. He can save you. The bigger the test, the greater the blessing. I know it get hard, but why are you stressing? Just trust in the Lord without any question. Repent of your sins, you want confession. In all of thy ways, acknowledge the Father. When it go and get hard, the Father go harder. He'll make a way for his sons and his daughters. Have faith in the one that walked on the water. Better believe his job he was on it. Heal the poor lady that touched on his garment. He'll be your help, that's if you want it. Dark in the night, but there's joy in the morning. Go and get tough, God keep you going. Answers to life, he's already knowing. Healing hearts, ones that are broken. Changing minds with words that are spoken. His miracles know no boundaries. Put his hand on a man and cure disease. Rebuke the wind and calm the seas. When I was lost, he rescued me.
And I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. I can save your soul. He can save your soul. Truly reliable, love undeniable. If you're trying to grow, you really need to try more. And I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. I can save your soul. He'll work a miracle. Nothing's impossible. Truly reliable, love undeniable. If you're trying to grow, you really need to try more.
The greater the struggle, the bigger the breakthrough. Have trust in the Lord and where he can take you. He's right by your side and he'll never forsake you. Died on the cross, shed blood to save you. He is the one to see when you're hurting. No matter the problem, the blood is still working. Protecting his people.
As I stop worrying how the story ends. When I let go and I let God have his way. That's when things start happening. When I stop looking at back then. When I let go and I let God have his way. I couldn't seem to fall asleep. There was so much on my mind. Searching for that peace, but the peace I could not find.
My name is Kelly Bryant, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. Numbers is about how I used a low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers into non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes one number at a time.
Let's have a moment of clarity. There's freedom in your transparency. When you speak, you release, that's therapy. It's my decision to listen and do it carefully. Wanna live carefree? Well, it's gonna start. When secrets are kept, families are torn apart. I wanna do my part to help heal your heart. Shed some light on your life when your days are dark. Help ignite a spark that'll bring change. Be your shelter from the rain, assist with.
Here we go. Intro for my show. Nice though, hot like nitro. Cool as ice though. With that type of dichotomy, y'all know it's gotta be. Who else could it be but T? Rub your eyes, behold the Tony D. I'm the Dream Supreme DJ straight out of Queens. I'm eclectic, the dope is selected. Emerging music break, Tony D will take, yeah.
Well, Tony, I don't care
This is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up, level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Hey y'all, this is Candace Stevens, State of Georgia real estate broker and founder of Day After Foundation Incorporated, where we are transforming the transplant experience. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hello, this is Roger Yeager. Level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Don't touch that dial.
This is Mr. Scribe, co-host on The Real Level Up. Tune in on Facebook Live, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Join us.
And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Now, let me remind some people, if you guys want to listen to this show in its entirety, you guys can head on over to CHH Jams Presents. There, you can listen to this show in its entirety. So before we get started, you know what, Darlene, listen, take a look at this real quick. You haven't even gotten started, and Pat's like, I need to make my appointment now. She already know. She already knows. Listen, Mr. Scribe, in case you don't know, you about to get to know. While all these people are like, I know I need to do it, so let me go ahead and get my appointment in right now. I got to ask Darlene this one question before we really get into this conversation with you, Darlene. Like tax season for you as a financial consultant, is this like real busy for you as well? You know, from the end of January all the way to April 15th.
So that's a great question. I appreciate you asking. It is. For different reasons, though. I don't actually prepare tax returns, but what happens a lot of times is that people find that they don't have all of their documents, right? Even though most things are online, a lot of times they're missing some little piece, or they've gotten something and they're like, I don't really know what this means. Can you walk me through what I've just received in the mail? So it gets very busy because people just want to make sure they're prepared when they are going to their tax professional to have their taxes done. So yeah, first quarter, it's always busy.
Wow. Well, listen, I don't know the reason why your number one person that made sure she had the front row seat, she said house. So I don't know if she wants to go any further about that, but I will say this. I know, really, Mary Goolsby sings your praises. And I've talked to a number of people who've worked with professionals such as yourself. And I really feel like, Darlene, that you have a great way of helping people to not feel so bad if they feel like I am so behind. I know I should have done this. I should have done that. What do I need to do to even catch up or even feel secure where I am, no matter the age?
Well, I think it's very important for us to as you know, maybe some of our parents might have said, I know my mom would always say, let's not cry over spilled milk, right? We're going to start where we are today and we're going to move forward and figure out a plan. So I wanted to start with, please, you guys, join into the conversation with me so that we can have a really good conversation about finances. And yeah, Mary is awesome. I'm glad to see you're on here, Mary. Yay. Good to see you too, Pat, on here as well. I thought I would start with maybe a big acknowledgement. Sometimes, you know, the things that are unsaid are the things that people like, well, she didn't even go there. But let's start with the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty. People are like, what is going on? We don't know which way to go. The markets have been up one day, down the next. The markets have been up and down within the same day. So I just want to mention that, look, I get it. There's a lot of uncertainty, but I want to start this conversation with acknowledging there's uncertainty, but let's go back to faith. I love what Mr. Scribe started us off with the book of Matthew. We have to have faith and then use the faith and the wisdom to get us through this trying times. And there will always be trying times. We've got uncertainty in the economic conditions. We've got talks about tariffs, job losses, all kinds of unsettling world events. So that takes me to, I just added to everybody's anxiety this You're kind of like, you didn't help, Darlene. But here's the next thing. We can't control any of those things. We can't control any of those things. So what we need to say to ourselves is, what can we control?
Okay.
It is our response. It's our mindset. It's our financial decisions using wisdom and faith. So let's start there. I went to the book of John, chapter 14, 27. And I wanted to start off with saying, peace be with everybody, right? Because that's what's written there. It says, peace be with you. Don't let your hearts be troubled. We will get by this. And panicking is usually leads to poor financial decisions.
Doesn't it?
I just want us to just breathe, okay? Are there any questions out there already? But that's really where I think we need to start.
I have one, Darlene. We see the commercials on television about portfolio management, about your portfolio for people getting ready to retire or setting it up. But the thing that threw me off, that I can't be part of that, because the guy at the end of the commercial, they'll go, if anyone out there has a portfolio of 500K, we can definitely work with you. So I'm sitting here going,
wow,
I'm nowhere near a $500,000 portfolio. So therefore, I have to immediately rule them out. So I was wondering at the time, well, where do I go? Because I know I'm not in that situation, but I guess that's where you guys fill in, because you're doing it because we want to serve folks and we want to really help people, as opposed to boxing in only the people that have a very so-called healthy portfolio.
Well, again, a really good observation that you've made there. Another thing to keep in mind is I would say it this way, there are a lot of advisors out here, lots of advisors. And there's some that are in one niche and some that are in another niche. There's some that specialize in one thing and some that specialize in another. And so the good news is there are enough of us financial advisors out here who work with a broader group of the population. And I would say I'm one of those advisors that works with a broader group of the population. So again, I don't start off asking you, well, what do you have in your pocketbook? We start off with figuring out, where are you today and how can I help you? And that's what a lot of advisors are coming to now, is they're saying, wait a minute, I need to know if I can even help them in the first place. Is there a fit, right? So keep that in mind. You'll find the advisors that will do a more comprehensive, broad-based work with a larger community out there. They're out there.
They're out there. Well, before we go, we dive into what you do. Let's get to know you a little better, because really, the last time you were here, Darlene, I had Mary and a few others. Let me go back to what Mary had said in her comments. She did put it out there. She said house, and what she really meant was, where is that comment? She said you were the reason why she got the house. And I was like, "Oh, Mary, that's probably the best thing that anybody could ever say." You getting a lot of us in a great financial situation that we can take that extra leap of financial decisions. Because having a house on your own, that's a big thing. What Mr. Scribe was talking about, when do you leave the job? When do you retire? That's another big financial decision. So I'm so grateful that you are spending the time with us to talk about that. But I feel like what everybody got from you was this: why did you love it so much? Because I know me and my partners are always looking for the people who are gifted in what they do. And what I saw in you, Darlene, you are gifted in what you do. It looks like you make it look so easy and doable. And I think that's why I got a lot of phone calls when you came off the show last year, because you made it doable. You made it look like, oh, okay, I can do it. I've never had a financial consultant, but you know what? If I'm going to get one, she's the one. And it was based on what you had said, how you got into it, the love for it. You came across that screen that on that day, Darlene, and helped a lot of people feel welcomed to what you do. So I wanted to go all the way back there, because we have a lot of new people that are watching the show now. You guys continue to hit that share button, because I want more and more new people to hear what you have to say, Darlene. Hi, Regina. Regina is a new listener. So if anybody else, I want Regina to hear who you are. Why did you get into this, Darlene?
Wow. Well, gosh, you're taking me back so far. Memory starts to fade the older we get, So I will tell you, there are kind of a lot of things led me down the road to helping people with their financial well-being. But a lot of it was just internally I was in the 401k business, and just internally seeing people that even though they had the shelter of an employer that was providing a lot of the financial planning and pension and retirement planning for them, they still didn't quite understand it. And so over time, working in corporate, like a lot of us did, and then I come to my own business. Over time, I started to realize that it didn't matter whether they were the CEO or they were one of the regular rank and file employees. None of them really understood it. And instead of being in the boardroom trying to work with the big, the boards and the chief financial officer, I should be working with the regular folks so that they can understand what they have and make good, solid financial decisions. And many people during the downturn, some of your listeners may remember 2008, it was a catastrophe for the financial markets. Many people, they sold their accounts out because they could, but they did it in a panic and not with a plan in mind. And so, I even had one person, a doctor, she's a smart person, right? She called and said, I'm ruined. I sold everything. She happened to pick the lowest day in the market to sell, recorded as the lowest day. Now, she didn't know. But again, it goes back to what I'm starting off our conversation with. Let's not panic. Let's use our wisdom. Let's start with being faithful to what we believe. So a lot of what I came to realize is I want to be sitting with the regular folks so that I can help them say, well, yeah, we still might need to sell, but we're not going to sell all at once. And we're going to do it over time, systematically, so that we get to a place that meets where they want to go. And she was young, by the way, young-ish, by the way. So she's only 42. So guess what? She got another 20 years before she's going to retire. So she had time to make it up.
But okay,
Okay.
so when you were young, was it anybody in your life, Darlene, that actually sat you down and taught you the bare principles about finances?
I have to say my dad was
Mm.
very instrumental in helping me and my brothers. I have three brothers, kind of understand finances, and actually my grandma as well, his mother. So we had the generational gift from them. And my dad, when I first started working, my first job out of college, he was like, save something every day, save a little bit every day. Now, he actually picked a number, which, now it seems very small, save $1,000 a year. But back when I was getting out of college,
That
that
was
was
big.
little. Yeah, that was something. um, and, grandma, I mean, the woman lived to be 97 years old. Now, she took the real estate route. She bought property, she rented it out, and she lived to be 97 years old, and she was very frugal. This woman would not buy a thing that she didn't need. But again, principles that I learned, right? Dad, save something every year. Grandma, don't spend stuff you don't need to buy. Don't spend on things you don't need to buy for. So good lessons. And I do appreciate having their strong sense of values. I think that's one thing I want to share with you guys as part of our financial fire drill is that leaving a legacy, that long-term perspective. That is one of the things we can do, right? We can do that. We can talk to our kids, educate our kids about finances.
Mm.
Wow.
What do you got, Mr. Scribe? I see it.
No, I
Yes.
mean, that's a good foundation of how she got into it and the fact that she got into it, that foundation that she had with the ideas, saving, being prepared, and basically looking into the future by preparing what's today, then you can kind of plan it out. But I wanted to ask, Darlene, not kind of off the thing is, how do people find a financial advisor? Because you did say there was a lot of people that are in the market up in it. But again, we know we live in a world where there's people who are truly interested in helping you with your financial planning. But there's the other side of that, that the wisdom and discernment come into basically choosing someone that really has your interest. Because we know that there are horror stories where people went to someone they supposedly trusted and ended up on a really bad side of the business. I know your foundation is based in faith, so we kind of know your route. How do people get that wisdom and discernment to know I'm dealing with a person of integrity, honesty, and that's going to really be in my corner to help me,
Wow.
as opposed to a person that's just, you know what, I'm going to tell them everything they need to know, take their money and run.
Right. So again, a very great question and very thoughtful question. Um, it, it it will lead me to give you a longer answer.
That's
So let's start with a couple of things. What is a fiduciary? So that word's been thrown around a lot in the last, I don't know,
Mm.
5 years, but it actually does mean something. So a fiduciary is an individual who pledges that their first goal is to do what is in the client's best interest. Part of the second part of their goal that they pledge to do as a fiduciary is to identify to the client up front, and then we'll call it prospects because they're not even clients yet, right?
right.
Up front, if there is a conflict of interest that could occur down the road. Conflicts of interest for advisors would be trying to offer a high commission product when perhaps it isn't needed, right?
Mm.
Or maybe they have a limited toolbox because of where they work. That's not a bad thing. It just means that they're not offering the universe. And so they may need to say, hey, I only have this universe, but we've got tools in here that will work for you. So the finding an advisor that states that he or she is a fiduciary is the first step. Now, one good organization that serves as a a little, I guess, database, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
for financial planners is the Certified Financial Planners Association, CFP.net, I believe it is. But
Okay.
I'll have to give you guys but it's Certified Financial Board of Standards. And not only do they create a whole education program for their advisors to go through, they are a think tank group, I guess is the best way to say
Okay.
it. But they have a whole database there where you can look up advisors who are certified financial planners pledging to be a fiduciary, putting the prospect's interest first. And they're listed all over the country. Now, some, Mr. Scribe, some will have minimums that will say they only work with people of X number of net worth, okay? But there are some that don't have any of those minimums or whatever. So it's a good place to start. I would recommend starting there.
Good information, because a lot of people, like you said, want to have some type of financial expert helping them with their finances, but they have no idea where to go.
Where to go?
Like, you can't go to Uncle Joe and Auntie May and say, hey, I want to do something with I have no idea what I want to do, because they have no idea, because they're not an expert in that field. So that's good information.
Yeah, and I'll get the website. I can't remember. I have it locked in my favorites. So
Okay.
I am in there on their database, by the way.
She's in there. Okay, look, listen. If you guys want more information, she's right in there. So whenever you have it, whether you have it live or you have to go back to putting it in the comment section,
Okay.
Darlene, that would be quite fine. We have some people that will watch and rewatch and keep sharing it out because of the information that you're given. So Darlene, I
Okay,
want to
sure.
ask you, how would someone get started with you? I mean, what are some of the things that you're looking for? Is it a face-to-face, phone call, text? A lot of people are doing portals now, where there's a portal that people will share out, and all the necessary questions and answers are given there.
Yeah, that because COVID has changed everything. And so I have to say, what I do now is, so I would love for people to reach out to me. Easiest way is I'll include my email in one of the comment boxes. But so I have a whole process, and I try to make it easy and comfortable. But the easiest thing is we reach out either by phone call or by email. And I want people to know, and first off, that we do what we call a discovery phone call. It is a free conference call. Now, it can be in person. If people say, I want to come to your office, they can do that. But usually it's a video phone call, I guess I'll say it that way. And where we'll talk for maybe anywhere between 45 minutes or to an hour, where I just want to know, where are you today? What's on your mind? What's keeping you up at night as to why you want to talk with a financial advisor? And we start there to try to unpack where they are, what's troubling them, because they're not just doing it because there's something on their mind. So let's kind of get to that core. If they're meeting with me in person, I have an office in Marietta, Georgia. And, there's always going to be coffee and water and whatever to kind of help build that comfort. If we're meeting virtually, same thing. I send out a little pre-meeting email, give them a chance to think about the conversation. And that pre-meeting email, so many of my people who've been prospects that have now become clients, they're like, wow, I really loved how you sent out this email in advance of our talk, because it kind of set the expectations of what I needed to do to feel more prepared. So that's all it is. Easy breezy, free meeting. And then at the end of that meeting, the prospect or the client decides if they want to be a client. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, no, that helps. Go ahead, describe.
No, I was going to ask, in this particular, I know you've been doing this for a while, Darlene, and the economic situation, maybe let's go back 5 to 10 years ago, is obviously different from the financial situation as we sit today. How are you finding in your business with what we talked about in the pre-show, the chaotic stock market, different types of investment, crypto, all these different things? How is that impacting? I know you're getting clients coming to you, but how is that impacting your business as far as you making decisions regarding and taking into account all the other stuff that's going on?
Right. And I appreciate the question. I will say that there are some tried and true principles, and we kind of started down that road at the very beginning, right? We went back to 2,000 years ago when Christ was here, and he kind of gave us some kind of guiding principles.
Oh, yeah.
Many of those things still,
obviously,
even in my financial world, there's still solid principles built on wisdom and using faith to guide us. So while we are in some crazy times, we've got tariffs, the market's going up and down because one day we've got tariffs, the next day we don't have tariffs. There's no one in this financial community, including me, well, we certainly don't have a crystal ball, but what we used to use in the old days is we'd look at the trends. We'd see, okay, this tax law is being presented. So we know that this tax law is going to make changes to how we need to structure our clients' investments so that they will have the best outcome. But now we are in a time when we really don't know. So that level of uncertainty that every financial person in my world, my colleagues, were like, we don't know what's going on. But what we go back to are the tried and true principles. What do I need to tell my clients that will work? Again, what can we control, right? We can control having an emergency fund that's going to at least cover us for 3 to 6 months. We can control trying to manage our debt. Yeah, I know people are credit card. We hear it on the news. Credit card interest is rising and the interest rates are rising. But we can do our best to try to manage that and pay down that highest interest rate card as quickly as we can.
As quick as we can.
Right.
Hold that thought, Darlene, because I want to get right back to that, because those are some of the questions that a lot of our listeners are probably, they're like, okay, let me lean into that one. And I want to get another 20-minute segment on that so that people will, get a little bit more comfortable asking the questions that I know that they have in their mind.
All right.
Because they're asking me, and I'm like, hey.
I don't know anything. You got to ask Darlene.
Have I started to answer part of it, though, with what I've said?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to come right back to it, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what I want you to do. Please hit that share button. As we said in our comments, you may help a friend or a family member who needs to have this information. So please hit that share button. You're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Up on a Sunday, feeling some way about what I did last Monday, and I'm wondering, does the content I'ma pass whole weight, cause I really don't know. Think about the actions that are captioned in the back of my mind, and I keep asking, Lord, let it come past me with a passion. Feels like the whole world looking at me laughing. When I look at your life, what you think I see? Big house, nice car with a 3-piece, suit on with a button down Gucci, and you know we so clean with the cufflinks. Fast forward, you a boss on the job, drive away up north, making things look good for the white collar boys, but they don't know that you did time way before. Facing 25 years locked down, closed doors, what you making out of that situation? Give your life to the Lord, new occupation, moved on, never got complacent. But there's another young man, jail time facing, and he thinks that he can't make it. But you can help him out with a little conversation. Tell him calm down, be patient. Cause you know you got a story with the same pages, yeah. Cause sometimes I just wanna wake up and know somebody cares about me. If I'm struggling, help me out then. If you wanna see me win, don't doubt me. Cause I know that I can't be alone. Somebody else felt like this before. One time for the day, one fold. Then I hit to let you know that it straight up got you, bro.
The only one. Humbled cup in hand, patiently awaiting to succeed. We prayed on bended knee, and then he looked at me. He said, when God is good, we will surely see.
Compound everything that was said, a touchdown. I'm making a choice to raise my voice and make a little noise for everybody that's been let down. Truly, I can tell you what the problem is. We living in a world full of counterfeits. Just let your light shine where the dark begins, and let it shine real bright, cause it's time to win. Let's go.
I have felt the deepest cuts, and I didn't know they hurt so much, but they shaped the man that I've turned out to be. And I've been lost, but I've been loved, and so I set my eyes on God above. The other things don't seem to matter when you're free. I know that I am not the only one. The only one.
No, you devote your heart to following the Lord, no matter what the cost.
He hasn't had a good man in the home to be a role model. No matter how much I do, it's hard for a woman to call out the man in her son.
Isaiah, welcome to the Forge.
They said it was wrong to promote me, that I wasn't ready, that I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Hello, business owners. This is your fit photographer, Angee Gerard, coming at you with my 2025 campaign. The goal is to promote and empower her enterprise. Yes, the goal is to elevate women of color in business. On March the 1st, we are set to launch this new campaign, and it doesn't matter what your business is. Please contact us at www.AndreGerardPhotography.com to book your consultation. Let's make this an amazing year. Follow me on all social media at Angee Gerard, your fit photographer.
And let's have a moment of clarity. There's freedom in your transparency. When you speak, you release, that's therapy. It's my decision to listen and do it carefully. Wanna live carefree? Well, it's gonna start When secrets are kept, families are torn apart. I want to do my part to help heal your heart. Shed some light on your life when your days are dark. Help ignite a spark that'll bring change. Be your shelter from the rain, assist with.
Hi, this is Deborah Daniels, author of the book Transforming Me and Mine, Level Up. Each and every Sunday evening from 3 to 5 p.m., we look forward to having you to join us, ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Kimberly Howell with Angel Rings Music Presents. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Gina A. Towns, and I'm hooked on the real Level Up and Level Up Nation. You don't want to miss 1 minute of real talk that takes you higher. Every Sunday, 3 p.m., I say yes.
This is Kimberly Walker. Listen and watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook, did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and on Instagram. All right, let's get right back to our conversation with Darlene Van Beek. I want to give, first of all, a couple of people a shout out. I see that Angela Connolly has joined us in on this conversation, and a couple other people that I see you, but I don't know if you're here if you don't say hello. So I know there are other people that have joined in. So just give a shout out. Just say hello. Let us know that you're here so that, you may have a question or two. Join in on that conversation by typing in your questions and comments in the comment section. For those of you that are on Instagram, at the moment, we cannot see your comments. So head on over to The Real Level Up on Facebook. That's probably the quickest way you can get there because meta to meta. You guys can type in your questions and comments there. Hello, Veronica Tucker. I see you. I see you. She finally said hello. How you doing? All right, everyone. Let's get right back into the conversation that we had right before we went to the break. So, Darlene, you were actually talking about, this downturn of what really is financial uncertainty is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
And in that financial uncertainty, it will have a lot of people just hold back on everything, right? Am I saying that right?
It can. Yes, absolutely. It can. Yes.
Mm.
So to continue with that, part of having part of the biggest importance is having a plan. So, the title of the show today is talking about a financial fire drill. What do we know about fire drills? Well, I don't know about you, but when I was in school, we had practice runs, right? We
Yes.
practiced. How do we escape from this building? Even when you get on an airplane, right? The first thing they do is like, let's talk about how we get out of here if we need to. So kind of the same process is true with our finances, but we hope they don't burn up or anything like that. So let's pull that back and use that concept of having a strategy in place for our finances. And that's where we talk about having a budget and some of the things I mentioned earlier, having an emergency fund and trying to contain our debt so it's not out of control. And there's good debt and bad debt. By the way, having mortgage debt is a good debt.
Good debt.
So it's not all debt, right? But knowing where your money's going, that creates confidence. Right now, we're not panicked because, okay, I know where every dollar is going. And when it comes to investing, you got to think about that about how to overcome our fear. And again, have faith. What can we control? We can control investing for a long term, perhaps. If the markets are shaky, they're going up and down, that's normal. I've been doing this for over 25 years. It's normal.
Wow.
The problem is we panic, sell. Oh my gosh, the market's going down. I'm going to lose everything. And then we panic sell. And then like the lady I was mentioning, we end up selling on the lowest day the market had during the whole Great Recession. So what's a better strategy? Just like with the fire drill, we have a plan in place. You create an investment strategy. Okay, I've got 20 years before I retire. Well, then the market's going to go up and down a lot in those 20 years. But what's my strategy? I think, going back to my dad, he said 1,000 a year. Well, maybe you could do 1,000 a month now that times have changed. But,
That's all,
I'm going to put something, well, whatever the number is, I'm just saying.
Yes.
You put that away as a strategy. You're going to do it as a behavioral method every single day, year, month, whatever it is. And if it's going to be this retirement is around the corner, 5 years away, okay, guess what? Now you have an opportunity to look at that budget. What am I going to be spending in retirement? You can actually give yourself a pretty good estimate. Not like the 30-year-olds not retiring for 20 years. They don't have a good estimate. But the person who's nearing retirement could do a pretty darn good estimate. Here's what my expenses are going to be. Do I have enough? And they can make adjustments accordingly. So those are some strategies. And then people that say, oh, that's way too much. It sounds like, well, then that's when you seek a financial advisor to help walk you through some of these steps. I'm going to stop, see if there's questions. Does that help? We're controlling what we can do. We're using faith-based principles to do it.
And go ahead, Mr. Scribe, go ahead.
No, I'm not saying it does because, like you said, you're taking the fear out of it. Because the thing is, most people, they have a plan. Like some people, like I'm a person that's really structured. If you give me A, B, C, and D and say, hey, Nolan, these are the steps you need to follow, like a recipe, this amount of eggs, this amount of, once you do that, you kind of condense that whole situation. This is what you need to do. You need to put aside this amount. You need to check your budget on spending this thing. People can handle, I think, a lot better rather than that overall picture. Just do this, do each of these little things. And I think that'll calm some of the people's fears about this whole thing because, even the job situation, I'm working a full-time 9 to 5 right now, but at any time, I've seen it over the years that I've worked at this company, layoffs. And like you said, being prepared. Well, if I'm laid off, do I have an emergency fund that I can survive on a certain amount of money before because I have a home, I have a car, am I going to lose it all? And that's people's biggest fear. If I lose my job, I could be homeless or living paycheck to pay. So people are really afraid that one catastrophe, medical catastrophe, can completely wipe them out.
Right. And those are legitimate fears, not to minimize those things at all. I want to kind of step away from that, but I'm going to come back to the issue of job security in just a second. But I want to step away from that to share with you something that I did and kind of talking about that leaving this legacy or creating a legacy for the next generation. So one of the professional women's groups that I'm a part of, we did a volunteer thing this week. I did more than one, but the one that kind of stuck with me right now was It was called Reality U, and it's where we go into the middle school, and the children, the middle schoolers, have to pretend they're adults. They're assigned a life as an adult. Right now, they're 25-ish, and some are assigned marriage with kids, some are assigned single, some are assigned military, and all that. There's a whole process of how they do it. So again, I'm going to stress process. Even that program had a really solid process for how they got those kids to this reality, this grown-up reality.
Wow.
But one of the things that was so interesting is of course, being the financial person, I went over to the desk that said emergency fund and investments, right? Well, where else would I go as a volunteer? Emergency fund and investment. That's me. So the first thing I asked these young people was, do you know what an emergency fund is for? Well, they're only 11 or 12. None of them knew. But the point is just that we can remove so much of our anxiety by trying our best to prepare. Now, when you talk about having an emergency fund, it's 3 to 6 months of what we need to have as expenses. That's a daunting task. But again, step by step. I think I might have mentioned one of my favorite books in Scripture, Proverbs, chapter 13, number 11. Wealth, one quickly diminishes. It dwindles away. But if we do it little by little, it grows. I can't stress that enough.
Nice.
Now, with regard to job security, I hear you. I was thinking about that. So what are some of the things we can do? What can we do, right? Again, what can we control? We can upskill. We can cross-train ourselves so that we can increase our possibility of being secure. So many people create multiple income streams. I know a lot of people that have side hustles. They're freelancing, or they're doing some kind of other passive income opportunity. And last but not least, it's the simplest one. Well, I'm thinking it's the simplest one. We can network. We can stay informed about what's going on in the industry trends so that we can remain employable. How many times have I talked with somebody that said, I'm getting a little concerned about my job. It's kind of dicey. I'm not sure what I'm hearing. Leadership is starting to change, or whatever this situation is. And they will go to some event. Maybe they're volunteering at, Habitat or whatever. And they'll meet somebody, and that person says, oh, we're looking for just the person that has your skill set. You want to interview with us. Network, stay out there, do the side hustle, upskill your and cross-train to stay.
Absolutely.
That's some good nuggets though, because I do believe in the cross skills, and making sure that those transferable skills are tight and right, that you are keeping above the trends, because a lot of what people our age are afraid of is one buzz term, AI. Well, AI is taking over a lot of the jobs, and that's how my job is going to phase out. Well, I'm of always educating yourself. I'm forever reading a book, listening to a podcast, and like you said, I am networking on top of all of that, and that's how I'm staying informed of what are the latest and greatest, what will keep you employable. Because you can if you don't make sure that your skills are polished to what today's standards are, you stand to lose that very job that they're trying to phase out and streamline. I went through that one time in my life, and that's where I was like, that will never happen again, because it was a younger person who came in, and of course they call it cheaper, faster labor. And then you're phased out of a job. It happened to me one time, and that's one too many. And I was like, okay, go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No, you're absolutely right, Angie. What I've done is, way back in the day, when they went from the mainframe computers to the desktop computers, they had us take an Excel class, and I got into it. So fast forward like 15, 20 years, that skill of Excel in the job that I have now,
Mm.
I was able to design my own personal tools to help me do my job. And once my employers found out, hey, this guy, not on a super advanced level, but good enough to do the job that I was doing, kept
Efficient.
me kept me
Yeah.
around where they were laying people. And I even heard through the grapevine and things, well, we're going through a series of, but my employer tended to keep me because, well, this guy's got a lot of knowledge, and I've shared that knowledge with coworkers. And I think that was one of the, not the only reason. Obviously, God was orchestrating all of this, but gave me that skill to make myself more valuable. So when employers like, well, we may have to lay off, we can't lay him off because he's got knowledge that we still need. So that's a very important thing as well.
Mm. And let me tell you how young I was. I was 6 months away from graduating college
Wow.
when this younger person. So I'm what, 22, and already being phased out of a job. That I mean, when I saw that, I'm young,
How could that
but
happen?
yeah, that young. It was a publishing company, Lionheart Publishing. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
And they had a person who was younger, faster, and they paid this person cheaper, and that that good old like, well, your services is no longer needed anymore.
Why Darlene is so important, ladies and gentlemen. That's why she's important, because being prepared, whether you're young and getting started, or whether you're like
Mhm.
me, contemplating or not contemplating, but planning to, because I want to live. I want to be able to spend time with my grandkids,
Yeah.
be able to travel with my wife. I don't want, there's a lot of Americans, all different shades and color. They
Yeah.
only have enough money on their limited income to buy medication, to eat, and to pay their rent or mortgage. That's it. If you ask them, well, why don't we go to, then they can't afford it. And that's a shame to have to work all those years just to live in a box where you can't do anything but survive. And I don't want to be one of those people.
Well, what do you have to say to that, Darlene? We got 3 minutes before we go to our next break.
Okay.
So what do you have to say to that?
Well, I stress we can control the things that we can do. And I hope that is the theme that you're hearing from me
Oh,
today.
absolutely.
No, it
Right.
definitely
Yeah.
is.
And so
It
a
definitely
lot of times people say, but I can't afford to save $1,000 a year like your dad told you, or 1,000 a month, or whatever the number is. Well, what can you afford to save? Let's look at that budget. Put together I call it a spending plan, because people don't like the word budget. It's like, but
Yeah.
spending plan. Okay, so then write down everything that you spend. You might find, I was talking with one young man, we started going through a lot of his spending habits. And he's like, wow, I didn't realize how much I eat out. And another young lady, I was working with her, man, I use Uber a lot. Well, now that the weather is warmer, maybe we get out and we walk someplace,
No,
right?
you're right, Darlene.
So
Darlene.
there might be little places you can just pull out something from that budget. If it's $30 a month, start there.
There.
No, she's right.
Mm.
She's right, Angie. I just
I
ordered.
know.
No, I was lazy, and I said, let me just order something out. I ordered me a simple dish, and I didn't want to go out to get it. I ordered it. By the time they added the surcharge, tip, and everything else, I have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, it was almost double the price. So I know I got to get better, darling. No, I'm guilty. I got to get better. And when I do go through this process, I will get better. I understand. I understand.
Well, listen, you guys, we'll take our last break, and this will be our last segment with Darlene Van Beek. So if you have any questions or comments for her on this last segment that we have our last 20 minutes with her when we come back. You guys get those questions together. Type those questions in the comment section of where you are. Facebook, Instagram. I'm sorry, we can't do Instagram. Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Those are the four where we can see your comments. If you're in Instagram, head on over to The Real Level Up on YouTube. That's probably the fastest way you can head on over to a
Get on it,
platform.
ladies and gentlemen. We only have Darlene for one more segment. And
One more segment.
When a person is sharing their knowledge in their dome, you better get to it.
You better get to it. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
worrying how the story ends. When I let go and I let God have his way, that's when things start happening. When I stop looking at back then, when I let go and I let God have his way. I couldn't seem to fall asleep. There was so much on my mind, searching for that peace, but the peace I could not find.
I am thrilled to present you Journey to the Poetic Light, a heartfelt collection of poems that unravels the intimate and profound moments of life through the lens of poetry. This book is a beacon for those seeking silence, inspiration, and a glimpse into the kaleidoscope of human emotions. Journey to the Poetic Light invites you to wander through a landscape of emotions where each poem is crafted to guide you toward enlightenment, reflection, and inner peace.
Here we go. Intro for my show. Nice though, hot like nitro. Cool as ice though. That type of dichotomy, y'all know it's gotta be. Who else could it be but T? Rub your eyes, behold the Tony D. I'm the Dream Supreme DJ straight out of Queens. I'm eclectic, the dope is selected. Emerging music break, Tony D will take, yeah.
Well, Tony, I don't care, long as you take me there. Someplace to ease my
This is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up, level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
This is Terrell Murphy. Get inspired with Level Up, real talk that takes you higher.
It's your girl, Kathy Hood with Woman University. Let's level up on Sundays.
Hey, this is your girl, Nick Nat. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us on this beautiful Sunday. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Veronica Tucker, who slid her way in. Thank you, girl, for joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Also, I want to give a shout out to Donna Carr. Hey, Donna, I see you over there, girl. Thank you for joining in, girl. Really, really appreciate you. And for all those guys who are joining in with us, we may not be able to see you, but if you just say hello, we will be able to give you a shout out. Well, listen, this is the last segment of The Real Level Up with Darlene Van Beek. And what we were talking about is financial fire drill. So, Darlene, right before we left, we had we were going to get into. Oh, you know what? I got a brain fog. But I wanted you really, with this last segment, if you can say again for those who just came into the show, say again, how can they begin their journey with you as their financial consultant? I'm going to put your information up as well.
Okay. And I'm happy to do that. Thank you. I want to take 1 minute before I start that. I was able to find the website in which you can start looking for a financial professional that is going to put your interests first. Now, I'd love for that to be me, so you don't have to look. But if you do want to look,
I love it. I love it.
If you do want to look, get your pencil ready. It's really simple. It's C as in cat, F as in Frank, P as in Paul.net.
We'll put it up.
So that's CFP.net. And you can go there, and it's the landing page. As soon as you go on that page, on the right-hand side at the top in big letters says, find a financial professional. So now, rather than wasting all that time shooting through thousands and thousands of financial professionals, you can certainly start with me.
See Darlene, y'all.
I have, yes, I offer a free consultation. We spend 30, 40 minutes together, either virtually or in person. You just go to my email address. I'll put that out there in a minute.
Yeah, put that out there too.
And then we'll set up a meeting. You can come to my office in Marietta, Georgia, if it's close by, or we can visit virtually as we are doing even today.
Even today.
And I will send a little pre-meeting email, as I mentioned, and the pre-meeting email just kind of gets the person ready to meet with me. It kind of helps remove any kind of like, gee, I don't know what to expect. I will tell you, here's what we're going to walk through at that first meeting. And I have found, as I mentioned earlier, for people who have later become clients, that they've shared with me, wow, just having that little pre-meeting email that kind of says, here's some things to think about before we meet. It said it really helped them feel ready to meet. So that's all there is to it. At the end of our conversation, if you want to move forward, we move forward. If you don't, hopefully you will have at least one nugget that helps you move forward, even if that is not with me. So that's the deal. But I'm sure it will be with me.
Well, that's important, Darlene, to ask those questions, because if you ask them in the pre-meeting you, it gets people under the mindset of, I really need to start paying more attention, because we go through our day, we're spending money. We don't really know where the money's going. Some of us, I'm a little bit diligent about, I got my little online tools that I use. How much is my credit percentage? How much am I spending? What my budget is? I'm not super perfected with it, but I'm at least an idea. But this will give people, because we really need to start thinking about what we need to do, because if you just haphazardly doing it, you may find yourself in a situation that is going to be difficult to get out of. Overspending. We see it on TV all the time. The credit card debt. People way over. And there's a lot of companies. If you're over $10,000 in credit card debt, we can help you. And a lot of times, some of those companies are legitimate and are good, but there's other companies that will take your money and not really give you the service. Where you have a personal person that's invested in your financial future, that's a relationship that I really think people need to embrace. To have a person that's right there, I can call, email, contact, and they have my interests at heart.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. And a lot of these things, I was talking with one young couple that are clients of mine, and they said, wow, this is hard work. Well, it is at the start of it. Again, we're talking about putting a process in place perhaps we're not used to using, right? So at the start of any new thing we do, it is a bit of hard work. It's a challenge. But once you get that routine in place, that process in place, then you say, okay, it's the end of the month or whatever time in the month you pick. Time for me to look at my monthly budget. Is everything still the same as it was last month? Okay, I'm good. Oh, wow, the utility bills are going up. Maybe I need to adjust, And so the process becomes easier when we do it longer. Is it still work? Yes. It is part of what we need to do just to be good stewards of our own finances.
Anything of value is going to entail some effort. So it's as with anything in life, if you got to put the effort in.
You got to put the work into it.
Yeah, people want these things done for them, but no, you have to be a participant in your financial future.
Mine is my marriage. Okay, 28 years. That's not easy. Good Lord.
Congrats on that. 28 years. Awesome.
I'm gonna tell Torrance.
He's probably he's so used to me. He's like, Lord, how many times you go? 28 years. But you know what? In relation to that, because this is for, okay. If it ain't for no one else, this is for me. I'm gonna be a little selfish, you guys. Let me have Darlene for just a minute. In speaking on that, what if, Darlene, you are married? I'm not saying this is my situation. It is not. But there are a lot of couples who are not financially on the same level. So how do you handle that part?
I love that question. I love that question. And when I was married, many of you know I'm widowed. So, but when I was married, my husband and I were never on the same page. And I will tell you, that's kind of common. It is really kind of common when I talk to couples. They're never on the same page, but that's kind of what that whole phrase, opposites attract. I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Oh.
So to answer that question, we learn as married people that one of the big things we learn is patience, and sharing. And it is the same thing that's true with our finances. Now, that doesn't mean that one person doesn't take the lead on the finances and say, hey, I'll do that hard work like the young couple I was telling you that, looking at the budget every month or whatever. But it means that there's that date night that they sit down and say, hey, tax season's coming up. What's going on with our taxes? When we go to the accountant, do we already know where we're going to stand with the accountant or him or her? Hey, we haven't talked about our finances maybe in a couple of months together. How are things going? Let's have that date night and do finances first, and then have that glass of wine after we finish talking about our finances.
Not before. She said after, y'all. Don't start drinking beforehand because you'll mess everything up.
See.
So, but it is very important to have that communication and recognize that, yeah, there's always going to be a difference in how we view finances. Interestingly enough, and I know we're getting close to our time, but interestingly enough, there's an exercise that I always say for people to do is and we've touched on it here, even though we didn't really, hone in on it. Mm-hmm. But many of the things that drive our own personal financial behavior started when we were kids. I talked about it, my dad and my grandma. And so a lot of times, if we can just have those little tidbit discussions with our special someone and say, hey, how did you feel about money when you were 10, or whatever age you pick? You'll learn a lot about your partner just from, oh, well, we were always, whatever the situation was. We went to the same vacation spot every year. I got bored. Or, you'll learn from just those little conversations. I think it's really a good thing to have those date nights, financial date nights.
Because
financial date night.
Men and women are very different. Like, the guys, I really want to be practical on setting certain things up. And you ladies, Angee, Darlene, and the other love to do that shopping. Love to go online with Macy's and Kohl's and Burlington and read those bags coming to the house. What's in that bag? I got a few new things that I got.
Hello.
That's out of the
There
budget.
are couples who are opposite. Torrance likes to shop. I don't.
No, I like to shop as well. I like to shop. But see, my other half knows, okay, this is what I got. But I get a lot of surprises. Oh, that's a beautiful dress. Never saw that one. Oh, I just picked that little thing up. Not too. But those are the funny, humorous parts of the finances.
I do enjoy a good meal though. That meal has to be really, really good. So yeah.
Those are the compromises, and those are we can do that. But the conversations need to be had, is what Darlene's talking about. You have to have that sit down, because if she's going in a certain direction and you're going in a certain direction, it's when you bring everything together, you have an excellent idea of exactly what's happening, and then you can make the choices to kind of bring everything together. So that is important.
Oh yeah. So Darlene, this is where they can email you. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Write it down, folks. And
write it down.
Pencil.
So
put it in pen. Put it in pen, not pencil.
For those of you who are listening on CHH Jams Presents, it is the Van Beek, and Beek is spelled with 2 E's. Do not put that A in there. At moneyconcepts.com. D as in dog, Van Beek at moneyconcepts.com. Well, we got another good 15 minutes though, Darlene. So are there any other nuggets you want to share with our viewing and listening audience?
Well, I would love to see if there are more questions. Mr. Scribe, you've asked some wonderful questions, so thank you for that. And you too, Angee. Can't forget our host. But
that number one question for me was about the the marriage thing. But I guess let me ask you this though. So do you meet with couples that are about to get married? Do you have consultations on couples who are like, okay, we're thinking about that marriage thing, but the number one thing that we really need to come together is our finances. A lot of people are always going to their pastor about this, that, and the other. But now that we're sitting here thinking, we're talking, having this conversation, It would be good to have a financial consultant sit with you before you get married. Do is that in the cards? Is that something that you would do?
I think that is you've opened up a whole new income stream there. Never heard
You
talking
heard it
about
first.
yeah.
Just say it. Level Up gave me this.
Yeah. Um, but I have never thought about that with people who are because you're right. People go to their
Yeah.
pastor to get counseling before marriage so they can have a strong foundation. I never thought about having a little, program for people who premarital financial counseling. It's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's incredible too, and you come that up because think about this: couples that are going to get married, remember, wedding cost, the amount of money that they would spend on a wedding, even though the parents might pay for it, the couples might be putting money for that. But you can just make suggestions like maybe your wedding needs to be scaled down a little bit so you can use that extra income to build your financial future. Because I've heard of weddings 30, 40, $50,000
Yeah.
for a wedding, and the couples get married, but because of that financial strain, end up in divorce.
Oh, wow.
Because of financial issues. Whereas if they had some guidance before, you know what? Instead of doing this, let's do this. So if we want to do something big, we'll be financially ready. Maybe later on, maybe we could postpone, have a little ceremony and have the big shindig later on when you're financially ready. That's another important aspect of it as well. And you being in your position can kind of influence that.
Wow, I like that idea. Yeah, yeah. Again, I can just say I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Yes, take it. Angel gave that to you, no charge.
Yeah,
Take that and incorporate that in your practice. Just take Angel from the page.
Yeah, that's certainly something that I could help them with, but I
Just call
just
it the Level Up program. We're going to call it the Level Up program
That would
of
be a good idea.
premarital financial advice.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Yes.
But no, it's one of those things that and especially for all of us who are, just in our years, past 50. There's some things that we have already set up, and for those who are, still really considering, who are single and still considering married and want to be married, we really need to, put some things in place before, becoming one with someone else that already have their situation in place. So it looks different. You're not 20 something anymore where you may not have as much. Now you're 50 something. You've got quite a bit, and you want to come together as one. How does that look?
Right.
So, something to think about.
Right. And I'll add one piece to the older couples finding, a new love in their life when you're older. One of the things I think maybe goes, maybe should be thought about and maybe goes unaddressed early on is if there are children from previous marriages, there really should be a time when each individual sits down in their own quiet space and determines what do they want for those kids, that the adult kids or the adult grandkids from this previous relationship. That might be a good time to think through their will. And then when the two new people, right, the new gentleman and wife come together, then that actually would be an important part of the conversation, because now these assets, the expectation of what happens to these assets that have already been accumulated could be set, and it creates far less whatever the word would be, tension when they join to become one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because it happened in my own family. I won't give names out, but that's what made me think about it. In my own family, we went through that, and so I didn't think about the children piece. I was just thinking about the two adults who came together who had already, things in place, and then they were coming together as an older couple, getting married. How did they intertwine? But yes, they did go through some trying times with not laying that out with their adult children. You're thinking, kids are gone, but they're really not. They're still somewhat attached to you,
Right.
and they're in their 20s. Some of them in their 30s. And what happens when stepmom passed away or stepdad passed away? Step passes away. What happens with the remaining living spouse with an outdated will? Uh,
Right.
yeah, that's ooh, didn't
And
think about
these are
that.
things, yeah, these are things that we normally wouldn't think about these things. We wouldn't think about,
Mm-mm.
what would happen in this type of situation. And in life, as we get older, these are some things as we can see from just what's happening with some of our mainstay celebrities over the past month or so, that we're losing people. And in losing those people, like you said, leaving a legacy for your spouse or for your children or for your grandchildren. So these things are really, really important.
Yeah, they're
And we
real.
as believers need to be in the mindset. We know we're not going to live forever. And I don't want to be a burden to the people that I love if something
Right.
happens to me. And the way to not mitigate it, but minimize that
Mm-hmm.
is to have a financial plan. And so you can sit back and go, I know when I transition, I already know where I'm going if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But they're left with not worrying, not being up sleepless nights. Wonder, am I going to lose the house? Are these things
Mm-hmm.
not going to be taken care of? Because these are things that are really on people's minds, and people are up sleepless at night because they're like, I want to retire, but can I survive on Social Security? Can I get another? All these things are real, and you're addressing that by your services.
Yeah.
So we thank you for that, because people really need to start thinking about, no matter if you're 20 or you're 60.
Wow.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Mm.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Well, we're coming down to the last 5 minutes of the show. I'm going to put your information back up again. Let me see.
Yeah, Angie, I have a nickname for Darlene Van Beek. If she just, I'll put it out there. I put it on my social media. Check out DVB, y'all. She'll give y'all that financial advice and tune you up really, really well. I'll put a little voiceover out there, Angie, promoting the business. Who's DVB? Well, that's Darlene Van Beek. DVB. See, you hit that
Yes.
little connotation to it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
do let's do the DVB, y'all. What's that? Oh, I'll put you in touch with somebody that can show you how to
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do the DVB. See,
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
well,
So
Darlene, what are some of your final thoughts, your final pieces of
I'm glad that
advice that you can give to us?
Glad that you asked. First of all, I hope that our talk today has given some reassurance that even when we're in uncertain times, there are things that we can do. And that is my next thing, is to give you a call to action. So
Okay.
I really would encourage all of you that are listening today to take just one practical financial step this week, whether it's reviewing your budget or adding to your emergency fund or starting an emergency fund or seeking guidance from a financial professional. Because again, it's all about what we can do and what we can control. And I go back to Mr. Scribe, you started with Matthew 6:31. That is really a good place for us to kind of go full circle. Seek first the kingdom of God, because all things will come to us through that.
Amen.
And so take some action this week, including the action of Matthew 6:31.
And
That's
remember, y'all,
awesome.
if you can't remember Darlene, just DVB, y'all. 3 letters you can remember, because we tend to focus on stuff like that. So DVB, y'all.
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, listen, everyone, this is the end of our show. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to her, 101. She has offered to each and every one of you who would like to reach out to her that at first financial consultation. That's the least that you can do because you never know. Please don't go in an unknown situation without you even trying. We here at Level Up, we dare to believe and we dare to move. So I hope all of this information was very, very helpful. If you're joining in on this conversation toward the end of this show, uh, go back, hit that replay button. Not only that, hit that share button. You never know who you're going to be reaching out to that may need this information to help them to carry on. Yes, are we in uncertain times? We are. But we do not have to move in uncertainty. We can move with certainty because of the information that we share today. So, yeah, take that leap of faith. What I'm going to do one more time, I'm going to put this website up, but we're going to cut corners here as we talked about. We already have a certified person right here in front of you. So, yes, you can go to that website, but at least try her out when in that first consultation because you'll never know. I want to give an awesome shout out to Mary Goolsby, who already, I didn't want, I tried my
Yeah.
best not to put people's information out, but she did it anyway. Because of Darlene Van Beek, all of the work that she had gone through with Darlene, she has bought her house through just the
Where was
discipline that
DVB
she,
7 years ago when I bought my
hey,
house?
hey, listen,
Where was he
she's
at?
here now.
Do that. But I like this. But the thing that my takeaway from this program, very informative, but what Darlene said, she will focus and get you to focus on the things you can control. Because the things you can't control, we don't need to worry about those things because God
No,
got that part. We just need to focus on what we can control. And if we do that, we'll come out very successful. So thank you, Darlene.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Darlene, you did your thing, girl. Well, listen, I also want to put out there that if you are interested in being a guest on our show, please email our team at angiecoleman@gmail.com. For those of you who are listening, it is spelled ANGEE. Please take out the I. ANGEECOMAN @gmail.com. There is where you can send in your requests to be on our show, and we would love to have you. We have a team of people that are waiting on the other side of that email to inform you of all of the shows that we have on this show. But not only that, we also have a network of shows that is called Level Up Nation. So you never know. You guys bring your testimonies to the forefront, to the screen. Because a testimony, let me see if I can remember what Coria Burns said about this one. An untold testimony saves no one. I think that's
Wow.
what she said.
And
I
Angie,
think she
piggybacking
said,
on what you said, Angie, you
huh?
said on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Now, for me, it's beautiful because we've had Darlene Van Bleek on, but it's
Absolutely.
raining outside and overcast. That's not beautiful to me. I love sunshine and blue skies.
Well, listen, you guys, we're going to end the show. We love everything that we do. We love spending time with you each and every Sunday. Yes, right here at the Real Level Up. We'll be back here next week, same time, same back channel at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, to 12 p.m.
Gets you every time.
Get me every time. I had to like count back. 12 p.m. Pacific, right here at the
I'm
Real
thinking Darlene's
Level
getting
Up.
texts right now. People are getting ready to call in. She
Oh,
checking.
yeah.
She looking down like, uh-oh, I may have some new appointments.
Well, look who came in. Listen,
Becca.
Becca, we see you. We see you. That is a person that you guys want to check out. She will be on the show, Mr. Scribe, in
What?
April. Oh, yeah. What are you
No.
talking about?
She's the one that I introduced. For once, Darlene, I introduced Angie to somebody that I know, not the other way around.
All right then. All right.
You definitely don't want to miss that show. That is the woman who came into Level Up Nation and has really, really helped us. She's the one that helped us to trademark our names. So y'all don't want to miss that show. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to end this show on a great, great note. You guys pay attention to every last one of our independent artists. We got a whole new surprise for you guys probably in the next 2 months, speaking on the independent artists. So you guys want to stay tuned what Level Up Nation is going to do with these independent artists. Well, we love you, mean it. You guys.
You wanna know if I still love you? Will I do what I used to do? I know sometimes I can step off track, but with open arms you call me back. Yes, yes, I love you. I say yes. So I say yes, yes, I love you. And I say yes. So I say yes, yes, I love you. And I say yes. You wanna see if I'm yours completely? No, there's no place I'd rather be. Some time ago, I made this vow, and again I say yes, here and now. Yes, yes, I love you. I say yes. So I say yes, yes, I love you. I say yes. You say yes to me. I say yes to you. Even when I wanna go, I can't leave. You say yes to me. I say yes to you. Anywhere, everywhere, you're always right there with me. Yes, yes, I love you. I say yes,
Hello, business owners. This is your fit photographer, Angee Gerard, coming at you with my 2025 campaign. The goal is to promote and empower her enterprise. Yes, the goal is to elevate women of color in business. On March the 1st, we are set to launch this new campaign, and it doesn't matter what your business is. Please contact us at www.andregerardphotography.com to book your consultation. Let's make this an amazing year. Follow me on all social media at Andre Gerard, Your Fit Photographer.
Prepared, crafted, and baked with love. A taste so delectable, like they were sent from heaven above. With every bite, a soothing warmth settles and abides. It feels like a hug on the inside. Kyrie's cookies explode with flavorful taste no one can duplicate. Joy permeates the soul with every bite, creating a tasty intimacy to savor, a merry delight. A sprinkle of joy, a pinch of happiness, a dash of faith, a cup of compassion and happiness are ingredients that give Kyrie's cookies bona fide uniqueness. Kyrie's cookies make my heart sing, packaged with a royal presentation fit for a king.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit, and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
I think I like this old tree so much because it had a sadness that I could relate to. Like we were the same.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you.
It's been 7 years, Dorothy. There's a lot to see. You sure you've got time? They treated me like family. And how did you treat me?
When I come up yesterday and saw it was gone, I knew it was time. Time for what?
Starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Dr. Kyrie Listens. Healing begins with being heard. Join us at 3 p.m. for Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. Coming to you at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the New Artist Profile. We keep it hot for you. Following the New Artist Profile at 7 p.m., join the Dynamic 3, Orlando, Kim, and Birdie for CHH Jams Presents, where bars come from the word. Relationships can be challenging, so we save the best for last. Join us for Pat Nash Talks on those special occasions every second Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have food for talk, taking on health, one number at a time.